Is fan service good or bad? It's used as a big moment in the story and not just a cameo. The scene where you have other heroes appear out of nowhere just to kill them off is terrible fan service. This did nothing for the story and only served to please the audience, but didn't add any climax to the story. It could be a battle sequence, it could be dialogue, it could be simply standing still and this freaking girl's clothes fall off. If you like the way they use fan service in movies or shows like this, then it's like, alright, good for you. However, there is one movie I have a very special breakdown that will be very controversial. I'm committing this to Spider-Man No Way Home because out of the subjects I talked about in part 1, this has all the elements morphed into one. So is it bad or good? Oh boy, here we go. This goes without saying, this movie has 8 characters that are not even from the same franchise. The cameos have become the characters. So that should be good because last time we talked about how using them as cameos is bad and should be treated as actual characters. Well, here's the thing. There's not a single villain from Tom Holland's Spider-Man. The issue with this movie is the cameos and the context of it. This movie has to do with the multiverse, yet the Spider-Men are all the same character, just written and directed by different filmmakers at different times. How do you make a multiverse movie about Spider-Man and not even have multiple different Spider-Men? Into the Spider-Verse came out before this and had a diverse group of different characters that were all Spider-Man, but significantly different. No Way Home doesn't take any risk by doing something unique. Instead, it uses old versions of Spider-Man to hype everyone up. If they weren't in this, it wouldn't have done as well. The villains are also included in this category as much as Spider-Man. None of the villains are multiverse versions of the Spider-Man's villains. How is it the Spider-Man are alternate versions, but not the villains? There isn't a Doc Ock for Garfield, or Tom, or Lizard, or Sandman. The only one who has an alternate version of themselves is Goblin, in Andrew Garfield's world. This whole movie did everything right, but yet the one wrong thing, which was the entire concept of the film. It's such an odd case because everyone loves it because of how they made the movie, involving all 3 Spider-Men. But all 3 Spider-Men are not that uniquely different from each other, as we've stated before. The movie betrayed its own concept of being a multiverse. There is nothing about these Spider-Men that say it's a multiverse. The 3 Spider-Men are not even 3 different characters. They're both Peter Parker, just written and directed by someone else with a different interpretation. Their costumes are very similar because it's the same character. I know in Spider-Verse there's also multiple Peter Parkers too. At the same time, if the multiverse is this big, then why would you pick the most boring options? Even the small differences aren't that unique. Just because you have multiple Batman movies doesn't mean it's all a multiverse, just people's different interpretation of the character. Despite them only being in 30 minutes of the movie, it's a main thing people remember. The screen time doesn't matter, it's the actual impact they make. Heck, Freddy Krueger only has 7 minutes of screen time in Nightmare on Elm Street. Rafiki from The Lion King is barely in the movie, yet he has the biggest impact on Simba. They had these 2 Spider-Men in that way. I know I've dedicated this whole part 2 to this and it'll piss people off. My point overall is don't betray the concept of your film for the sake of fan service or even nostalgia. Stay true to the concept like Into the Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse actually made different characters. Despite all of them being Spider-Man, not all of them were Peter Parker. Even though Across the Spider-Verse has a lot of cameos, it leans a lot into making the multiverse itself a massive universe. They do show familiar faces, but they don't rely on those familiar faces to drive the story or even get people to watch it. Spider-Verse chooses a cast that will make sure the audience can differentiate from them and make sure it doesn't seem like everyone is the same character. No Way Home made it in a way that was more profitable than engaging. Like I said last time, you can like these movies. If you're into it, then go ahead and enjoy it. I know it has a big impact because everyone got to see the Spider-Man they all grew up with again. I get it. I'm just the kind of person that's gotten more interested in story-driven movies. I've gotten hyped and moved by movies that aren't even from my childhood. I know not everyone is like that. I'm just giving a take that probably isn't gonna be received well because it'll appear I'm just attacking a fan base, but I'm actually a Spider-Man fan. I'm going to do this unbiased, so I'll just say, the movie did all the characters well. Their interactions and their heart to help the villains was good. Doc Ock having redemption without his death was also a cool moment. Aunt May's death was emotional. J. Jonah Jameson coming back was hilarious. I love J.K. Simmons. I was genuinely upset Peter lost his friends. I was so pissed. I liked MJ and Ned. I don't care what people say. So yeah, there's good things I have to say about the movie. I'm not gonna be just bitter and hate everything about it. It's fun to make a video like this and piss people off, but I don't think that's gonna help me or anyone else. I don't think it's gonna really help solidify my opinion either if that's just the way I'm gonna approach it. Unless I gotta piss people off by saying Baldur's Gate 3 deserves Game of the Year and not Spider-Man 2. Okay, bye, have a good day.